to go live?
Yeah.
It's going live. And it is on YouTube.
Button. Record. All right. Well, welcome to our first reading of what are we reading tonight? Gremlins. And there's one stuck in my computer right now, so you might hear it whirring every now and then. Anyways, we'll be reading just the first half up to about page 60, and we're starting a little late tonight, but we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves and get right into our reading. So I'll go ahead and start with Vicky.
Good evening. I'm Vicky Dykes. I'm coming from central Alberta, way up in Canada. It's the last time I looked, about minus 19 out there. It's cold. Tonight I will be reading Billy Peltzer, and I am doing actions and descriptions at the start, the teaser, and I will finish the actions and descriptions in the ninth section. I go by the pronouns she, her. And if you want to find me on social media, I'm on Facebook as Vicky Dykes. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm Yoga Grandma 10.
Awesome. Let's go over to Aubrey.
Hello. Yes, your little mogwai is being very adorable in that background there. Hi, I'm Aubrey. I will be playing Rand for a good portion of this script. There are some other smaller parts. I have to go find it's the only one I remember off the top of my head though. My pronouns are I don't care. Call me anything. And I am in California. And I don't remember what else I'm supposed to say. So hey, oh yes, my Instagram. My Instagram is at Lucy in the Fair. Check out some stuff. I haven't been posting anything for a while, but I will be posting some new stuff very soon. Just been working on a lot of projects, so that's what I've got.
Awesome. Padmini.
Yes, my name is Padmini, and I live in New Jersey. My pronouns are she, hers, and what else do I need to say?
Who you're playing tonight?
Yeah, I'm still looking at that. I know I'm playing Roy and Lynn and the actions.
You also have car radio, and you're Peggy's mom. I will just say
Yes, right.
and action descriptions too. So that's page 6 to 12, and I'll remind you when you get there.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. It goes down to Deborah.
Hi, my name is Deborah Wade. I live in New Jersey. We've had the craziest weather. One day it's 60, one day it's 20. We don't know how the weather's going to be. So anyway, my parts are check-in girl. I'm Mrs. Deagle. I'm also Dory. I'm action in description, and I'm also just a teller.
All right, sounds great. Let's go over to Matthew.
I'm Matthew. I am playing stewardess, among other roles.
Stewardess, Roland, Peggy, and actions and descriptions 3.
Right.
And we may have Abascar join us later this evening. He's not here yet, but his part doesn't come in until later, so he may show up and he'll be playing Pete in action description 7.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share our script here, and let's see, and then we'll jump right into it. Let's see, I'll share the cast list first because that's where.
Bright light.
And onto the script. All right, and let me make it a little larger for you guys because it is pretty small.
Oh, it's very small. Oh.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'll rouse it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a sec.
Let's get the show on the road.
There we go. I can
Better.
see that. Okay. I start things. Gremlins, an original screenplay by Chris Columbus. This is the second draft from April 27, 1982. Hong Kong, an outdoor marketplace. crowded, filled with Oriental and British merchants. You can buy anything here, electronics, food, anything. Rand Peltzer walks through the crowd, an American businessman. He wears a tasteful gray suit. He's thin, with distinguished good looks and thick brown hair. He's 56 years old. Rand looks around, fascinated by the vast array of people and merchandise. He stops at a booth. A tiny Oriental woman stands behind the counter. Rand gives her a polite smile.
Hi, from out of town on business from the US.
The woman nods and smiles. An Oriental man passes by. He is very old, deep wrinkles, long white hair, ragged clothes, a rotted smile. Overhearing Rand, the man stops to eavesdrop.
I'm looking for a present for my son.
The woman nods. She searches through her wares. She holds up a basketball. Rand shakes his head.
He's not really involved in sports.
The woman puts away the basketball. She picks up a Sony Walkman. Rand again shakes his head.
No, I want something special, something he can't get at home. Something different.
The woman searches for something else. A hand reaches out and grabs Rand's arm. Startled, he turns. The Oriental man stands before him. He stares into Rand's eyes.
I can help you.
He leads Rand away from the booth.
I offer something very different, very unusual.
Rand is puzzled. The Oriental leads him to a doorway.
Follow me.
He opens the door, motioning for Rand to follow. Rand pauses, skeptical.
Come, take a look. It will cost you nothing. You won't be disappointed.
The Oriental enters. Rand shrugs and follows. Inside, Rand follows the man up a narrow, dark set of stairs. At the top, they enter a room. Interior room. Dark, no windows, no furniture, filled with cardboard boxes and wooden crates. Rand crinkles his nose. It smells bad in here. The Oriental flips on a dim light bulb. He leads the nervous, apprehensive Rand to a dark corner of the room. The Oriental picks up a small metal box. A high-pitched giggle echoes from inside the box. Rand is very puzzled. The Oriental rests the box on a stack of crates. He opens the box. A tiny creature is inside. The animal is 11 inches tall and stands upright on two legs. It has two arms with small four-fingered hands. Its body is covered with fluffy brown fur. The piercing eyes are big, sad. Its ears are long and pointed. A tiny black nose sits above a wide mouth with small, square teeth. The creature is smiling. It lets out a giggle. Rand is delighted and surprised. He's never seen anything like this. The animal is more charming than a Disney character. The Oriental claps his hands. The creature leaps from the box onto Rand's shoulder. The animal licks Rand's cheek. He laughs, amused by the creature. The Oriental claps his hands again. The creature hops back into the box. It stares at Rand with those big, cute green eyes.
What is it?
It is called Mogwai, a very rare and intelligent animal. I found it in the fields near my home. It will obey all orders. It learns fast.
Oh.
The Oriental looks at Mogwai and claps his hands.
Food!
Mogwai leaps to the ground. It scurries across the floor to a wooden crate. Mogwai removes a raw tuna from the crate. It tears off a chunk of the fish and carries it to the Oriental man. He takes the fish. Mogwai hops back into the box. Rand shakes his head, amazed by the animal. The Oriental takes a bite from the raw fish. Juice runs down his chin. He smiles at Rand.
And if you are ever in need of a song.
He claps his hands to the creature.
Music.
Mogwai begins to hum in an unearthly falsetto. Oh, it's beautiful. Rand watches with wide eyes. He feels like a child again.
How much?
100 American dollars.
Rand removes the 5 20s from his wallet. He gives them to the man. The Oriental smiles and claps his hands. Mogwai jumps onto Rand's shoulders. Rand pets it. Mogwai emits a cute giggle.
Never sleeps. It will eat anything, but prefers raw meat. It must always be kept indoors during the day. It lives in shadow. It hates bright light. Direct sunlight will kill it.
Rand nods. He takes Mogwai from his shoulder and puts it into the box. Rand puts the box under his arm. The Oriental smiles.
Your son will enjoy his new friend.
Rand smiles and exits. The Oriental takes a bite from his raw fish. We cut to interior Hong Kong airport. Rand is on the pay telephone. His baggage rests beside him. Mogwai is inside of a small plastic pet box. The creature's bright eyes shine from inside.
Yes, Fred. The Taishan account is definite. Mm-hmm. Well, my plane leaves in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See you in Pennsylvania.
He hangs up. He picks up his bag and walks to the check-in counter. The check-in girl takes Mogwai's box and puts it on the conveyor belt. Rand watches the box disappear through the baggage chute.
Don't worry, sir. Your pet will be safe.
Rand smiles. Cut to exterior sky. The jet flies through the clouds. Interior airplane. Rand is eating his airline dinner. An Oriental stewardess walks up and refills his coffee. He looks at her.
Are you familiar with the word Mogwai?
She nods.
What does it mean?
Double.
She moves to the next passenger. Rand stares, surprised, confused, dissolved to a green road sign. Welcome to Kingston Falls, Pennsylvania. Population 6,122. Credits begin over various images of the small town. 1 week before Christmas, it's snowing hard. A man hangs Christmas lights outside of his home. His young son helps. Children ice skate along a large frozen lake. A woman trudges through the snow to her mailbox. A down parka is over her pajamas. Kingston's business district. Chilly gas station attendants pump gas into cars. A pharmacy owner hangs Merry Christmas in sparkling gold letters in his store window. Telephone line workers share hot coffee from a thermos. The Union Savings and Trust Bank. 2 teenagers push a woman's car from a ditch. Credits end. Camera dollies to the bank doors. We go inside. Crowded. Several people stand in line.
That means that's they have
That's yeah.
that's
A
they just
bank.
capitalize the names.
Oh, I'm Billy.
No,
No.
that's not a line. That's just stage.
It's not a line. It's just a stage direction. It's a description.
A bank teller writes out a receipt for a customer. Billy is 26 years old. His sturdy build and good looks are buried beneath wire-rimmed glasses, slicked dirty blonde hair, a red sweater vest, a loose-fitting checkered shirt, baggy corduroys and worn loafers, Finishing the transaction with his customer, Billy looks to the line of waiting people.
Next.
Oh,
Oh,
One
That's
second.
that's still stage directions.
There's no line, it's just stage directions.
Yeah.
Right. If the
Oh.
if the name is on the left, it's a stage direction. If it's in the center, it's a character.
Oh, I see. Mrs. Deagle, thank you. An elderly woman walks to Billy's window. She's a real prude, tight lips, heavy makeup, bleached hair, cheap fur coat. She hands Billy a personal check. Tracy Allen, another teller, works beside Billy. Tracy is pretty, big brown eyes, a sexy smile, long dark hair, perfect figure, 25 years old. Tracy counts out some cash to a customer. She's trying to concentrate to keep her mind on work, but it's different when Gary Lucia, the bank security guard, is trying to make her laugh. He stands by the bank entrance, making funny faces at Tracy. Gary is 30 years old, former high school jock, dark, thick hair, deep brown eyes, muscular, a strong, handsome face. Meanwhile, Billy gives a check back to Mrs. Deagle.
I can't cash this, ma'am. Your last check hasn't cleared.
Don't you recognize me?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
My name is Mrs. Julia Deagle. My husband manages the Sparkle Market. We have been banking here for 16 years.
That's very nice, ma'am. But your check hasn't cleared, and
Oh,
I,
that's the problem with this world. It's a mess because of people like you.
it's not my fault your check didn't clear, ma'am.
Don't get smart. Don't you dare get smart with me, young man.
I wasn't getting smart. I was just, trying.
Where's the president? I want to see the bank president.
Billy rubs his eyes, tense, embarrassed. Everyone watches the scene. Tracy, Gary, the customers. Ronald, Roland, Fresco, the bank's vice president, walks over to Billy and Mrs. Deagle. Roland is tall, slender, with thin gray hair and a pencil-thin mustache. Friendliness and courtesy are his job. He smiles at Mrs. Deagle.
Matthew, that's you. Roland. Matthew?
Matthew,
What seems to be the problem, Miss Ma'am?
my name is Mrs. Julia Deagle. This young teller is being very rude. I demand that you fire him.
Roland looks at Billy. Billy rolls his eyes. Roland smiles.
Now, Miss Deagle, I'm sure this isn't that serious. I'm sure an apology would pick things right up.
The woman shrugs. Roland turns to Billy.
Apologize to the woman, Billy.
Billy leans to Roland.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Just apologize.
Roland leans back and smiles at Mrs. Deagle. Billy looks at her. He doesn't want to do this. Everyone in the bank is watching him, waiting for him to take a stand. Billy sighs. He needs his job.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Deagle.
She nods and smiles. Roland puts his hand on the woman's shoulder.
Goodbye, yes, Miss Deagle. Take care of your banking problems.
Roland walks back to his office with Mrs. Deagle. Gary chuckles. Tracy goes back to work. Billy just sits, angry, humiliated. He calls the next customer.
Next.
Interim bank later. Billy puts on his brown winter coat and green scarf. He picks up his dog-eared copy of The Once and Future King. He walks to the bank lobby. Tracy stands in the lobby putting on her coat. Billy moves to help her.
Oh, let me.
He helps her on with the coat.
You look very pretty today.
Oh, thanks, Billy.
I mean, not that you don't look pretty every day, but you look especially pretty today.
You're cute.
Gary walks up. He puts his arm through Tracy's.
Gary?
Let's go. I'm hungry. Hey, Peltzer, why did you stand up to that old bag today?
Didn't want to lose my job.
I think you whizzled out.
Mimi?
Oh, up till page 12?
Yeah, you're still, this is only page 11.
Okay, yeah. Billy shrugs, embarrassed. Gary notices a book. He takes it from Billy's hand.
What's this?
It's a book. You read it.
Billy exchanges a smile with Tracy. Gary isn't amused.
I know that asshole. I meant, what's it about?
King Arthur, Sir Lancelot, Knights of the Round Table, dragons.
Aren't you a little old for that kind of junk?
Beats TV.
I'll take Monday Night Football over this crap any day. Come on, let's go.
Tracy gives a wave to Billy. She and Gary walk away. Billy watches. He draws an imaginary sword from his side. He lifts the sword and lunges forward at Gary. Cut to McDonald's. Billy sits at a table alone. He's reading his book. He eats, but his wide eyes never leave the page. He's fascinated by the story, like a child. He gets to a funny section. He laughs. Gary and Tracy sit with another couple across the room from Billy. Gary notices Billy. Gary nudges the others.
What a nut, laughing to himself. That's the kind of guy who'll shoot a president.
I don't see anything wrong with him. I'm sure he's very intelligent.
Yeah. And those are the guys who always crack. The real smart guys. He's got to be a psycho. 26 years old, still lives with his parents, doesn't have a girlfriend. Come on, he's always alone. A real weirdo.
The others agree. Tracy doesn't. She likes Billy. Billy continues to read, totally caught up in his book, totally caught up in his fantasy. Resolved to interior. Billy's Ford Pinto. Later that afternoon, Billy drives home from work. He moves slow. The snow still falls. The roads are icy.
And that's still you, Padmini. You get to be the car
Oh,
radio.
yeah. Car radio, right. And the snow keeps coming, folks. Looks like we're gonna have a white Christmas. Another 3 inches is expected tonight. Billy looks out of his side window and sees Pete Fontaine walking home from school. Pete is 16 years old, a chunky, pleasant, baby-faced kid. With his bright orange down jacket, Pete resembles a tiny snowman. Suddenly, Pete slips on the ice. Bam! Right on his ass. His school books scatter over the ground. So I'm through 6 to 12.
Yeah, you can finish out this scene until it gets out here.
It's 13.
Oh, 13. All right. That'd be action descriptions 3, which would be Matthew. You can pick it up from here.
Yeah,
You want to read action descriptions there, Matthew?
sure. Billy stops the car. He gets out and hurries to pee.
Pete, are you okay?
He nods. Billy helps him up. He brushes himself off. Billy is amused by the boy.
You want to ride home?
Thanks,
Hey,
that'd be
hey,
nice.
guys.
Billy,
Billy goes pick up his school books. Cut to interior car. A few minutes later, Billy drives when I'm trying to tell a story to Pete. Billy,
Lancelot raises Excalibur and wham! He knocks the Black Knight down. And then, with another swing, wham! He finishes him off.
Wow.
Billy digs into his pocket and gives Pete the copy of Once and Future King.
Here, you can borrow it.
Pete takes the book.
Hey, Billy, you know so much about Vikings and stuff. You should write one of these stories yourself.
I am.
Really?
Savage Hearts of the Round Table, a trilogy of honor, adventure, and romance by William C. Peltzer.
Sounds great. When can I read it?
I've only got about 70 pages done, but as soon as it's published, you'll get one of the first copies, specially autographed by the author.
Pete smiles. Billy makes a turn. He pulls into the parking lot of Hugo's Antiques, a huge three-story home with an antique shop set up on the first floor. Billy and Pete get out of the car and enter the store. Dory Dugo, the 64-year-old storekeeper, stands behind the counter. Dory is husky, bald on top, with thick patches of red hair on his temples. A huge red mustache sits beneath his bulbous nose. His arms are thick, hairy, a strong Irishman. Dory notices Billy enter.
Oh, good afternoon to you, Billy.
Hi, Dory. Is it ready yet?
Yeah. Dory smiles. He reaches to a shelf behind the counter. He removes a long object wrapped in a place of cream cloth. He rests it on the counter. Billy watches with wide eyes. He is curious. Dory slowly unwraps the object. Inside the cloth is a long silver sword with a gleaming blade and engraved steel holster. Pete is impressed.
It's an authentic replica of the 11th century world.
Billy's eyes examine every inch of the sword. It's beautiful.
Careful, it's sharp.
Billy runs his finger along the blade. A big smile covers Billy's face. He's in love with the sword.
What do I owe you?
200. You can pay me 20 a week.
He pulls a 20 from his wallet. Okay, story. Billy carefully wraps the sword and puts it under his arm.
Thanks, Dory.
My pleasure, son.
Billy and Pete exit the store. Cut to exterior Main Street, the suburbs, rows of houses, all very similar. 2 stories, aluminum siding, 1-car garage. All are decorated for Christmas. Some are simple and sweet, others are ornate and flashy. Exterior, Montano. Billy's car pulls into the driveway. He drops Pete off, Pete thanks him, and Billy drives off. The Peltzer home blends in with the others, but it's a little nicer, better kept. A row of colored lights is draped across the snowy shrubbery. Billy's Pinto pulls into the drive. He gets out, sword under his arm. He enters the house. Interior, front hallway. A small hallway leading up to a stairway. Barney, friendly Irish setter, greets Billy. He pets the dog and hangs his coat in the hall closet. Interior kitchen, Lynn Peltzer. Billy's mother, 53 years old, slightly heavy, well dressed, styled brown hair, a pretty woman. She hears Billy entering. She quickly pops a volume from a small pill bottle. She calls to her son.
Billy, is that you, honey?
Billy sighs. He hates to be called honey.
Yeah, Mom.
Dinner will be ready in 10 minutes.
Okay.
He hurries upstairs with the sword in his hand. Interior, Billy's room, furnished with a single bed, 2 chairs, a desk and a drawer. A manual Smith Corona rests on the desktop. A full-size mirror is fastened to the closet. A few plants hang in the window. The walls are covered with medieval drawings. A poster of St. George fighting the dragon. Presenta paintings of warriors, etc. A miniature set of armor rests on the dresser's cabinet. Billy enters. He rests the sword on his head, on his bed. He unwraps it. He picks up the sword. He turns to the mirror and poses with the sword. He holds it at a few different angles, trying to decide which looks best for him. He takes a few swings with the sword. He stops and smiles to himself, a real warrior. Cut to dining room. Billy sits at the table eating dinner with Lynn.
How was work?
Okay.
Have you asked that Tracy girl out yet?
Oh, come on, Mom.
I was just curious.
Yeah, well, it's none of your business.
I guess it's none of my business that your clothes are washed and ironed or that you have a hot meal on the table.
No, it isn't. I'm old enough to take care of that stuff myself. I'm old enough to get a place of my own.
Don't start that again. Your father's coming home tonight.
Good. I think we should talk about it.
It'll put him in a bad mood.
No, it'll put you in a bad mood.
And Billy exchange a glare. They look down at their food. A few silent, uncomfortable moments pause. Then looks back at Billy. She smiles. Time for the tender approach. She touches his hand.
Billy, honey.
Oh, stop calling me honey.
She
Dad and
smiles and tries again.
Dad and I just don't want you to have to struggle like we did. We want to help unless you can support yourself as a writer.
But it's going to take me another year to finish my novel. And what if it doesn't get published?
It'll get published.
But what if it doesn't? Are you going to take care of me until I'm old and gray, working on my 25th unpublished novel?
If it takes that long, yes.
Oh, don't you understand? I've got to leave now. I've got to try and make it on my own now.
Before Lynn can reply, a voice interrupts.
Is this me?
Is anybody home?
And stands up and whispers to Billy.
Please, let's forget about this just for tonight, okay?
Billy pauses. Finally, he gives it a nod. Lynn stands. She pops another volume and exits to greet her husband. We hear them exchange an excited hello. They kiss and laugh, glad to be in each other's arms. Billy just sits burning.
And this is where we switch to Deborah as narrator.
Oh, I think I do the descriptions. I'm sorry about that. Oh, okay. Red hugs his wife. Barney is jumping at Red's coat. Suitcases rest on the floor beside the plastic case. Billy enters and sees him.
Billy.
1 second. Oh, 1 second. 1 second.
Oh,
Billy wakes his father, then embraces.
Hi, Dad.
They hold each other for a second. Behind the door, Red picks up Morgie's case. Lynn's husband.
Hungry, there's plenty of food.
Not now. I've got a surprise for both of you. Come on.
He leads them into the living room. Lynn and, Lynn and Billy have a puzzled look, a glance. They follow Red. Red dims the lights, motions for to sit on the sofa. They do. Barney sits. Red sits in front of them at a leather rest, a Moki case on his lap. Moki leaps out onto the coffee table. Lynn and Billy are startled. They seem wonderment. Barney hates it. He growls at Mokuya. Red lights a cigarette. He turns his hands. The creature picks up to Red. Maury hops into Red's lap. Lynn and Billy are amazed.
What is it? A monkey? A rat?
Your new pet.
Oh, yeah?
Maury starts to sing, humming in that unearthly Felicia.
Oh, what's that?
He's sleeping. Or singing. He's singing. Wow.
It sounds kind of creepy.
Barney starts to growl.
Barney! Be a good dog and go upstairs.
Barney reluctantly hops off at Billy's lap, and Lynn stares at Maria.
I think he's just darling.
He's called Mogwai.
Mog what?
Mogwai.
Rand holds the creature out to Billy.
Come on, hold him.
Maybe later.
Ah, come on. He won't bite.
Billy forces himself to take the creature close to Billy. Rand smells at his mom.
He likes you.
Billy looks nauseous. Lynn stands.
You two look so cute together. I have to take a picture.
Lynn walks up to a nearby drawer, opens it, and Kodak Instrumatic. Mara is on Billy's shoulder, licking his cheek. Billy hates it.
I want you to take good care of him.
Lynn forces a smile. Mara still listens. Lynn snaps the picture. Flash! Mara lets out a huge, frightening scream. Like Maha jumps back, accidentally scratching Billy's cheek.
Little bastard.
Oh,
Mara scurries back to the bed. He pets the little creature, comforting it.
settle down, Billy. There's no reason to get upset. The little fellow's just scared. He hates bright light. It's okay, little guy.
Billy shrugs. He wipes his fingers, his face. He looks at them. There's blood on their fingertips. Billy looks at Mara. The creature looks at Billy. It giggles. Billy sits at his desk, working on his novel. He's typing it fast, intense. A small desk lamp lightens him working the area. Mara watches Billy from the darkness of the bookshelves. Above Billy, he tries to ignore Mara's singing on his nerves. Billy slams his hand and glares at the creature.
Shut up.
Oh.
Mara stops singing. Billy goes back to his writing. Mara hopes for himself, praying out of the direct light. The creature moves across the dark top and cuddles up to Billy's arm. He jumps back.
Oh, get off of me.
Mara just looks at him.
Get off my desk.
Billy shines the bright desk light. eyes. Mara screams and jumps off the desk. Billy looks down at the creature.
Stay down there.
Billy goes back to work. Mara is bored. The creature leaps, sees the sword. Mara leaps one and examining it. It's too heavy. The sword it leaps off the bed, and falls to the floor. Billy goes back to work.
We're here at
Mara
Billy
is
Turns.
bored. The creature leaps, sees the sword. Mara lifts one, and it's too heavy. The sword slips off the bed floor.
Deborah, I'm going to pause you for a sec because I'm not sure where you are.
I'm just following the script. I have no idea.
Yeah, we're up here at Billy Turns. Mogwai takes a step back.
What?
We're up here where it says Billy Turns on page 24. Are you reading the screen?
No idea where I am.
Can you see the screen?
Oh, tomorrow.
Can you see where we are on page 24? Do you have it?
Yeah, I have in front of me. It's what you're looking at. There's a line that's Billy says stay here.
Billy's last line was stay down there, and then we went down
Oh, okay. Wait a second.
the top of the page. Why don't you just take it at the top of page
I
20?
got it. Billy goes back to his work. Mara is bored. The creature leaps up and sees the sword. Mary lifts one end. It is too heavy. The sword slips off the bed and lands on the floor. Billy turns. Mara takes a step back, guilty. Frightened. Billy picks up the sword. The handle is chipped.
You stupid little.
1 second. Yes. Billy raises the sword over Mara. He's ready to kill that tiny little creature. Mara looks at Billy. The creature is shivering. It is frightened. Its big green eyes are watery. Billy suddenly feels sympathetic. He lowers the sword, picks up the creature.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just trying to be more careful.
Billy holds Mara to his chest. He's petting it, comforting it. In Billy's room, later that night, Billy sleeps. The room is totally dark. Camera pans in another area of the room. Two green eyes burn in the darkness. They watch Billy. The next morning, outside, the snowing has stopped. Billy drives to work.
It looks like the snow has stopped for a while, but don't put away those earmuffs. More flurries are scheduled for tonight.
Parking lot. A car pulls into the lot, gets out. It's getting out of the car. Billy walks.
Starting work early today?
Oh, hi. Well, I thought the roads would be icy.
We've got a half hour before work. Want to go have a cup of coffee?
She pauses and smiles. Coffee shop. Tracy and Billy sit at the table, sipping hot coffee.
And if I sell the novel, I'll be able to quit the bank.
Tracy smiles, dreaming.
Oh, I'd love to quit. I'd run straight to the airport and buy a one-way ticket to Paris.
Why Paris?
Oh, I've only ever seen it in movies and TV, but it seems like it's got everything that this town doesn't. Museums, great restaurants, beautiful artworks and architecture. Well, listen to me, talking like I've been there 10 times. I shouldn't get so carried away. It's only a dream.
Hey, don't give up on your dreams. They just might come true.
Tracy shrugs and takes a sip of coffee.
Can I ask you a personal question? What is it with you and Gary? I mean, is he your boyfriend?
He thinks he is.
Do you think he is?
No, I think of him as more of a friend, but he thinks of me as a lot more.
So there's a possibility. I mean, I just might have a chance with you.
Don't give up on your dreams. They just might come true.
They both they both laugh. The camera pulls back to reveal.
Uh-oh. All right.
That's still stage directions there, Deborah, versus Gary standing across the street at the bottom of page 26. Do you see that, Deborah?
Oh, yeah. Looks fill into Gary's eyes. Billy's room. Everything is dimly lit with Billy's small desk lamp plants with a spray bottle. Mahar's case sits on the bed. The creature is now inside. Billy finishes his watering. He sits at his desk. He takes a drink from a glass of milk and snacks from a plate of brownies. He proofreads some pages from his novel.
Hello? Is anybody home?
In here, Pete.
Pete enters. Billy holds a tray of brownies to him.
Want some?
I'm supposed to be on a diet.
Grabs a brownie, but he noticed Mahar's case.
What's in there?
Pete walks over and opens the case. Mara hops out onto the bed. The creature giggles. Pete is now taken aback.
What is it?
A present from my dad.
Pete picks up the creature and pets it. Pete
Oh,
likes Mara.
it's neat.
Billy shrugs. Mara sees the brownies. The creature hops from Pete's handle onto the desk. Mara grabs a brownie and starts to eat it.
Hey, Billy, do you think I might be able to borrow it? Just for a night?
I don't know, Pete.
Oh, come on. My mom will never know. I'll hide it under my bed.
Pete reaches to pick up Mara. His hand clumsily knocks over the water bottle. A few drops of water splashes Mara. The creature arches its back and lets out a huge pitched scream. Billy is surprised. Pete takes a step back, scared. Mara tenses up. Then he spots the item body that was hit with water. He begins. Wait a minute. He begins getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, ready to explode. Billy and Pete stare, fascinated. The sports bust. Four new creatures pop out, clones of Maha. Spots of Maha's body was bound together if they were never there. There are five identical creatures. Billy and Pete share, shocked, glancing. Billy grabs a water bottle. He wasn't hallucination. He spotted them one if they were never there. Billy and Pete share a shocked glance. Billy grabs the water bottle. He wasn't hallucinating. He splashes it on one of the new creatures. The process begins again. The creature a few lumps fall. The lumps expand until they burst. There are three more creatures are now born. Billy tries to make sense out of it. 8 creatures stand on the desk, the new world. Billy picks up a glass of milk on one of the creatures. Nothing happens.
They must only multiply with plain tap water.
Wow, this is better than Twilight Zone.
Pete looks at Billy.
Now, can I have one?
Huh? Well, yeah, I guess so.
Pete grabs one of the creatures. Pete grabs one of the
Sorry
creatures.
about that.
It cries out in a frightful way. The other creatures leap at Pete and bring it back to their group.
Oh, maybe I won't take one.
The creatures have moved. The creatures have moved to the brownies. They ripped the brownies to pieces, devouring them. They are giggling. Billy, Billy and Pete stare in shock. Interior living room later that night. Rand sits in the chair opposite Billy. There are 8 creatures climb all over Rand, her playfully tugging to the hair and clothes, licking his face. Rand loves. 1 second. Oh. Clothes, licking his face. Rand loves the adorable little things. Billy has worried look on his face. Barney the dog sits in the corner of the room. He glares at the new creatures, jealous that they are getting all the attention.
What are you so worried about?
Dad, we don't know anything about these things.
We know they're cute. We know they're intelligent. And we now know that they multiply by water.
Yeah, but isn't that pretty weird? I mean, if I throw water on Barney over there, we're not going to get 10 copies.
The creature licks Rand's ear. He chuckles.
All I know is that I've got $1 million sitting on my lap.
Huh?
I'm going to market these things.
Oh, Christ. Oh, come on, Dad. That's crazy.
I mean, come on, just imagine the excitement when the word gets out. Everyone will want a Mogwai of their very own.
Don't you think we should have them checked out first? Just to make sure that
No, no, look. If we want to make a big profit, you have to move fast. I have some investors coming over to the house on Thursday. Who knows? Mogwai could replace dog as man's best friend.
Barney growls from his corner. Rand continues to play with the creatures. Billy watches, skeptical.
And that's where we'll change
Bank
the
parking lot
again.
the
Hang on.
following afternoon.
Switching narrators
It's
here.
snowing very hard.
Deborah. Switching narrators here. Cut to exterior bank parking lot the following afternoon. It's snowing very hard. The bank is just closed. Billy hurries to his car. Gary walks up. Billy turns to him.
Oh, hi, Gary. Look, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Gary grabs Billy by the collar and throws him against the car.
Listen, Peltzer. She's my girl. My girlfriend. Keep your hands off, understand?
Billy nods. Gary lets him go. He turns and walks away. Billy straightens his clothes. He glares at Gary. Cut to the exterior of Franklin Roosevelt High School a few minutes later. Students hurry from the school, anxious to get home. Billy's car pulls into the parking lot. He gets out. Pete waits in front of the school, and Billy walks up to him, and they enter the school. Interior school biology lab. The last of the students exits the classroom. Roy Hansen, the biology teacher, stands at the sink. He's washing out some used glass jars and basins. Roy is 35 years old, tall, thin, black, good-looking. Pete knocks on the door. Billy enters with him. Roy turns. Aubrey, that's you?
Yep. Hey, Pete. What's up?
Mr. Hansen, this is my friend Billy. He wants to talk to you about something.
Well, sure. I'm Roy Hansen. What can I do for you?
Well, you're the closest thing this town's got to a scientist, and I need some information about an animal.
Well, what kind of animal?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Cut to the interior of Billy's room later. The curtains are drawn, the lights are dim. The 8 creatures are on the desktop, giggling, humming in falsetto. Billy enters with Roy and Pete. Roy stares at the creatures. He's shocked, delighted.
I've never seen anything like this.
Billy grabs a water bottle.
Watch this.
Billy squeezes a drop of water on one creature. Mogwai lets out a scream. A lump appears on the creature's back. The lump gets bigger, bigger, bigger. Roy watches with wide eyes. Suddenly another creature bursts from Mogwai's body. 9 identical creatures now stand on the desktop.
Holy shit.
He remains speechless for a few moments. He looks at Billy.
May I stay for a while, run a few tests?
My parents won't be home until 7. You've got 3 hours.
Billy
Yeah.
takes off his coat and opens his black leather case. Billy exits with Pete. We cut to TV screen. How the Grinch Stole Christmas plays. Billy and Pete sit on the sofa watching TV. Roy enters and he sits across from Billy.
Well, I've discovered some interesting things. The creatures are drawn to water, as if they sense water nearby, they'll go to it. Also, unless they're hunting for food or water, they hate to be separated. Try to move one from the others, they crowd out, clawing, screeching.
Yeah, that's what happened when I tried to take one.
If one is separated, the others will follow.
Anything else?
They can't multiply by water if their environment temperature is below 22 degrees. 25 degrees, sorry. It's amazing. They have no biological link with any other species of animal in the world.
Billy gives an uncertain nod. Dissolved to the interior of Billy's room later that night. Silent, dark. Billy sleeps. Distant sounds are heard, animal-like noises. Gurgling, slurping, chewing. Billy wakes. He sits up in bed. The sounds continue. He looks around the room. The creatures are gone. Billy notices his room door open. He gets out of bed. He looks at his sword hanging above the bed. He takes a sword from the wall and he walks out of the room. Hallway. Billy walks, sword in hand. The noises get louder, crisper, clearer. Nervous, Billy descends the dark stairs. He arrives at the bottom and he stops to listen. His sounds are coming from the living room. Billy enters. He looks to the floor. Beneath the Christmas tree, the creatures surround Barney. They have killed the dog. Billy tries to move. He's frozen. The creatures are eating the dog. They look up at Billy. Their bright eyes are fiery and blood covers their mouth. They smile and they giggle. Billy screams. Cut to a close-up of a canvas mailbag. The bag moves, squirms, shakes. The creatures are inside. Rand carries a bag up the ladder that leads into the attic. Lynn and Billy stand a few feet away in the hallway. Rand lets the creatures loose in the attic. He quickly latches the attic's trap door, securing it with a padlock. He climbs down the ladder. Rand had to step out for a sec. Vicky, you want to take that?
Sure. This should keep them out for the rest of the night.
Interior attic, dark. The Mogwai cluster around the trap door. They scratch the door. They want out.
Tomorrow we'll take them out in the sun
Interior hallway.
and finish them off.
Lynn nods. Rand looks at Billy.
I'm sorry, son. I never expected to. Forget it.
Billy stares coldly at his father. Embarrassed, Rand looks away.
We should all get back to sleep.
Rand puts his arm around Lynn and they walk to their bedroom. Billy looks up at the attic door. The creatures scratching is heard. Dissolved to the exterior Peltzer house morning. The sun rises behind the house. Snow is falling. Interior attic, the trap door opens. Billy and Rand climb inside. They both carry flashlights. They shine the lights through the attic looking for the creatures. They see nothing. Billy spots something. He nudges his father. There are 9 individual pods stuck to various places on the floor. The pods are 16 inches long, 12 inches in diameter. They're wrapped in vein-like wire and covered with some thick, syrupy glaze. Aubrey, we are right here.
What the hell?
Billy picks up a broomstick and pokes one of the things. Won't budge. Hard as a rock.
Damn things are stuck to the floor.
Rand picks up a baseball bat. He raises it over his head and swings it down, hard, against the pod. The bat snaps in two. The pod is unblemished. Bran rubs the stinging hands. Billy and Bran just look at each other, puzzled. Interior kitchen later that evening, Roy Hansen sits with Billy and Rand. Lynn pours him some coffee. Roy has just examined the pods.
They appear to be in a lava stage.
That's you again.
Sorry. Oh, like a butterfly? Exactly. Those things in the attic are cocoons. Inside, the creatures are going through a sort of change, a metamorphosis.
Why did they attack my dog?
Simple. The animals. They were hungry. Aside from water, food is their main concern. How long until they hatch? A week? A month? I can't really say.
I'm not waiting around to find out.
Billy, sorry, Billy, don't be hasty. You've stumbled onto a new life form. What comes out of those cocoons could be a major scientific discovery.
Oh, screw science. I want them destroyed.
Billy, maybe Mr. Hanson's got a point.
Dad, they killed Barney. Or have you already forgotten?
Bran just looks at his son. Lynn pops Valium in the background. Close up, red hot light, the flame of a torch. The camera pans up to Rand. He's holding the gas torch, aiming it at the cocoon. Billy stands beside him. They're inside the attic. Rand shuts off the torch. He touches the cocoon. It appears unharmed.
Not even warm. They're indestructible.
Now what do we do?
I get back from Seattle on Wednesday. I'll call some construction people. They'll come in next week and cut these things out of the floor.
I don't think we should wait. I mean, let's do it ourselves.
No, it's late. I've got an early plane to catch. The attic door is locked. There are no windows up here. Nothing can get in or out. Son, you've got to stop worrying.
Close up on Billy, a doubtful, uncertain expression on his face. Dissolve to the following day, late afternoon. Various shots of the town. Snow comes down, fast and hard.
Heavier snowfalls are scheduled for this evening.
Little children build snowmen.
Storm blizzard warnings are in effect.
Trucks plow the roads.
So if you don't have to go out, please stay indoors.
An elderly man snow blows his driveway. We cut to the exterior bank. A sign hangs on the door. Open late for holidays, special Christmas hours, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Inside, a wall clock reads 5:25. Billy counts out money to a customer. Tracy works beside him. Finished with the customer, Billy looks at the line of waiting people.
Next.
Mrs. Deagle walks to Billy's window.
Hello, Mrs. Deagle. How are you this afternoon? Horrible. My arthritis acts up when it snows. I see they still haven't fired you.
Billy shrugs, trying to remain calm. Cut to the interior of Peltzer home. Lynn removes freshly baked Santa Claus cookies from the microwave oven. Interior attic, small lumps have formed over all of the cocoons. Slowly, the lumps rise up and down, bubbling, breathing, coming to life. Cut to the interior bank where Mrs. Deagle is screaming at Billy.
Do not try and tell me what to do, young man.
Ma'am, I'm only suggesting that you see a bank officer to...
I want to speak to Mr. Fiasco. Mr. Fiasco, Mr. Fiasco.
Roland Fresco, the vice president, gets up from his desk. He walks over to Mrs. Deagle and Billy. Everyone in the bank is watching. Billy bites his bottom lip, holding in his anger. Oh, I see. We cut to, that's why I missed that line. Cut to the interior Peltzer home kitchen. Lynn decorates the cookies. She adds white icing to Santa's beard. She dips her butter knife into the large blender that made the icing. Interior attic. The cocoons are bubbling furiously, as if they were being baked in an oven. Suddenly, a crack appears on one, and then another, and another. Cracks begin to cover all the cocoons. Gray smoke seeps from the thin openings. A slow hiss is heard. They're hatching. Cut to the interior bank. Roland stands beside Billy. Mrs. Deagle patiently waits. Matthew, that's you? Matthew, are you there? And you're muted if you are.
Apologize to the woman, Billy.
But, sir, I didn't do anything wrong. Really?
Apologize now.
Billy turns to the woman. Everyone in the bank is watching, especially
Uh,
Mrs. Deagle,
He pauses, looks at Mrs. Deagle. Her face is sour, angry. He tries again.
Mrs. Deagle, I think you're an ugly old fart, and I hope you fall down on the ice and break your fucking neck.
Mrs. Deagle is shocked. The other
Oh.
customers hide their laughter. Gary smiles. Tracy is proud.
Counter, you are fired. You understand me? You're fired.
Billy smiles. Cut to the interior of the Pelter attic. Green smoke has just filled the room. The cocoons quiver and shake. Each one is covered with cracks. A three-fingered black claw suddenly breaks out of one cocoon. It clutches at the air. Another claw breaks through the shell of another cocoon. They all begin to hatch. Claws emerge from each one, reaching for the air. Interior kitchen, Lynn slowly arranges the finishing cookies on a tray. A loud rattling noise echoes from upstairs, and Lynn stops to listen. Exterior attic door. The door rattles. The lock shakes. The creatures want out. Lynn slowly moves to the kitchen doorway, and she listens. The attic door. The wood surrounding the lock begins to splinter. It finally snaps. The door pops open. The locks fall to the floor. A loud thump. Lynn jumps at the noise. Scared, she runs to the kitchen phone. Interior bank. Billy puts on his coat, preparing to leave. In the background, Mrs. Fresco consoles Mrs. Deagle, and Tracy walks up to Billy. Billy, I thought you were great. He smiles, and Gary watches the two of them.
Billy, you have a phone call.
Billy hurries to the phone, and he answers.
Yeah?
Lynn stands in the kitchen, tightly holding the phone receiver. Matthew, did you want to take Lynn since Padmini left? Top of page 45. Matthew?
I could take it.
Sure, thanks, Bibber.
Billy, these things in the attic, they're alive. I hear noises upstairs.
Billy gets scared. His face goes white.
Mom, stay downstairs. I'll be right home.
He drops the phone and runs out of the bank. Gary exchanges a puzzled glance with Tracy. We cut to Lynn standing in the kitchen, frightened. She downs 2 Valiums from her bottle. Loud thumps, rattling. Various other noises echo from the attic. Lynn exits the kitchen and slowly walks upstairs. We cut to Billy, nervous, sweating, behind the wheel of his car. He tries to drive fast, but the heavy snowfall and icy roads prevent it. Outside, the sun is going down. We cut to Lynn. She's arrived at the top of the stairs. It's dark up here. She looks to the end of the hallway. The attic door is open. Lynn gets a chill. She walks slowly to the door. We cut to Billy, still driving. He passes a slow truck, and he hits an icy spot. The car swerves and spins off the road. It lands in the ditch. The engine stops. Billy tries to start it, but nothing happens. It's stalled.
No, not now.
Lynn, standing below the open attic door, she tightly clutches her Valium bottle. She looks up. Nothing but darkness. Lynn pops another Valium. She climbs the ladder into the attic, and we cut to a tracking shot of Billy. He runs home through the snow. People have begun to turn on their Christmas lights. Billy runs harder, faster. His house comes into view at the end of the block. We cut to the interior of the attic. Lynn pokes her head inside, looking round. Everything looks fine, calm. She sighs, relieved. Suddenly, something leaps out and grabs Lynn by the throat. A creature. We can't see it clearly. It moves too fast. It is hidden by the shadows. Other dark figures come at Lynn. More creatures. They want their share of food. Lynn watches in horror as the creatures surround her head and she screams. Exterior attic. Lynn's body jumps and twists. Her feet kicks as she's pulled up in the attic. There are a few seconds of silence, and then we hear the sounds. Chewing, swallowing, giggling. Cut to Billy. Sprints down his driveway. He arrives at the porch of his home, and he opens the front door. Inside, dark, silent. Billy calls out before entering.
Mom?
Scattered giggling noises echo from inside. Billy flips on the front hall light. A few tiny shadows scatter. They dash into other rooms, afraid of the light. Billy slowly enters. He's scared. He looks at the top of the stairs.
Mom?
More giggling, shaking. Nervous, Billy climbs the stairs. At the
Mom?
top, he quickly flips on the bright hall light. Something darts up into the darkness of the attic, escaping the light. Billy opens the attic door. He walks beneath it. He looks up into the dark attic.
Mom?
Aubrey, you want to take it from here?
Sure. An object is thrown out of the attic. It lands at Billy's feet. He jumps back. He looks at the object. Lynn's Valium bottle, stained with her blood. Billy picks it up. A giggle from the attic. Frightened, Billy takes a few steps back. He dashes into his room. Inside, Billy grabs the sword off his wall. He walks back into the hallway. Billy stands feet from the open attic door. He clutches the sword. He takes a deep breath and flips out the hall light. Darkness. Billy waits. A few seconds pass. A creature leaps from the attic and into the hallway. Billy jumps back. Mogwai snarls at him. Mogwai has changed. It stands 2 feet tall. The brown fur is gone, replaced by hard rock rippled armor. The arms and legs are muscular, covered with the same armor. The paws have been replaced by claws. The fingernails are sharp. The tail is long and pointed, reptilian. It thrashes back and forth. Sharp white horns have replaced the ears. The green eyes are larger. They bulge, evil, angry. A huge mouth distorts the face with its wide grin. The countless teeth are long and sharp, gleaming white. Fresh blood drips from them. The giggle remains undercut with a hungry, animalistic growl. The creature leaps to Billy. Billy raises his sword and swings. He hits the creature midair. Mogwai falls to the ground. Thick green blood pours from a deep wound in its chest. Billy stabs the creature. Mogwai dies with long hiss. Billy looks back to the attic. Sword extended, he rushes to the ladder and climbs into the attic. Inside, Billy sees Lynn's body. She lies on the floor, dead. Billy walks to her. Lynn is covered with bites and scratches. Billy looks away, angry, saddened. He notices the cocoons all hatched. Sounds echo from downstairs, thumps, giggles. Billy's face goes white with fear. There's more. He dashes out of the attic. Upstairs hallway, Billy walks slowly, clutching his sword, ready for an attack. He descends the stairs. Front hallway, Billy walks to the living room. A creature leaps from the overhead chandelier. It lands on Billy's back. The creature tries to bite Billy's neck. Billy slams his blade into Mogwai. He whacks the creature again and again. Finally, Mogwai falls to the floor. Billy brings down his blade. Hard. It slices Mogwai's head off. The creature body quivers. It dies. Billy moves. Billy moves to the living room. Living room dimly lit, the fireplace burns, the Christmas tree lights flash. Billy enters. An object flies at Billy from across the room. He ducks. A dinner plate smashes into the wall behind him. Billy looks to the china cabinet. A creature sits on the middle shelf, giggling. Throws another plate at Billy. He bats the plate away with his sword. Mogwai continues to throw plates at him. Billy dodges the plates, making his way to the china cabinet. There, he lunges forward with his sword. Bullseye. Mogwai is stabbed straight through the chest. The creature screams, writhing in pain. It falls from the china shelf to the floor, dead. Billy slowly moves across the room. His eyes dart back and forth looking for creatures. He walks by the fireplace. 3 large red velvet stockings hang from the mantel. Each one is inscribed with the name Billy, Rand, and Lynn. A creature pops out of each stocking, growling, snarling. Startled, Billy jumps back. The 3 creatures hop to the floor and move towards Billy. He clutches his sword tight. 2 creatures leap at him. He spears one in midair. He quickly spins around, knocking the other Mogwai to the ground. He stabs the creatures in the throat. He twists the sword until Mogwai chokes to death on its own blood. The remaining creature attaches itself to Billy's leg. It takes a bite from his calf. Billy cries out in pain. Mogwai stays on, biting hard. Billy kicks his leg near the fireplace. Scared of the firelight, Mogwai lets go. Billy stabs the creature. He holds Mogwai in the roaring flames of the fireplace. Mogwai screams until it burns to a crisp. Billy removes his steaming sword. The charred creature collapses into flames, dead. Billy checks his leg, a small bite. He walks to the kitchen. Camera pans to the Christmas tree. Its tiny lights flash. The camera moves closer to the tree. 2 larger green eyes shine from inside the tree, the eyes of another creature. Cut to interior kitchen. Billy stands quietly in the doorway. 2 creatures are inside. They don't notice Billy. One has crawled into the large blender. It laps up the leftover white icing. The other sits on the table and nibbles on the Santa cookies. Billy looks at the blender. It's unplugged. Billy moves quickly. He dashes across the room and plugs in the blender. It starts with a loud whir. The startled creature spins inside. Mogwai's screams die as it's chopped into a green mush. The remaining creature growls at Billy. Billy leaps forward with his sword. Mogwai leaps out of the way into the kitchen cabinet. Cabinet. My goodness. Billy turns to the creature. Mogwai stands in front of the open microwave oven. Billy pokes at the creature with his sword. Mogwai takes a few steps back. Billy pokes at Mogwai, forcing the creatures into the oven. Billy quickly closes the oven door. Mogwai is trapped inside. Billy flips the oven switch to bake. The microwave purrs. Inside, Mogwai screams and pounds against the glass door. Soon, the creature falls. Its body quivers. The armor-like skin bubbles and bumps. Mogwai boils to death. Billy wipes the sweat from his brow and exits the kitchen. My goodness. Living room. Billy enters. He looks at the dead creatures. He sighs, relieved they're all gone. Billy rests his sword against the wall. He picks up the telephone and dials 0.
Yes. Could you connect me with the sheriff's office?
A swift shadow moves across the floor behind Billy.
Hello? Is this Sheriff Lucia?
A claw tears the phone cord from the wall.
Hello? Hello?
The creature walks towards Billy, ready to attack from behind.
Hello?
The creature is nearly upon Billy. It hisses. Billy turns face to face with Mogwai. Billy glances to his sword a few feet away against the wall. Mogwai takes a step closer. Billy reaches for the sword. The creature leaps and lands on Billy's chest, knocking him to the floor. Billy wrestles with the creatures. He tries to grab the sword, but Mogwai is clawing and biting at him. Billy's hand finally reaches the sword. He snatches it. He brings it down the blade onto the creature's arm. Mogwai jumps back, wounded. Billy stands. He raises his sword to finish off the creature. Mogwai dodges the blade, jumping to the window ledge. Billy moves toward the creature. Billy smashes through the window, escaping into the night. Billy hurries out of the house. Outside, the blizzard is starting up. Billy arrives at a broken window. He looks to the ground and sees Mogwai's footprints in the snow. They stretch across the backyard of suburbia, disappearing into the darkness. Following the footprints, Billy runs after the creature. Peggy, a cute blonde-haired, blue-eyed 8-year-old girl, stands in our backyard. She's building a snowman. Peggy's mother opens the back door of their house. She calls to her daughter.
Peggy, come inside. It's getting dark. You'll ruin your eyes building this snowman.
Matthew, you're Peggy. Matthew, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're Peggy.
Just 5 more minutes and Skippy the Snowman will be finished. Please, Mommy.
It's a little bit. Can you enlarge it for me? It's too small. I can't see it. Oh, wait. All right. All right, young lady. If you're not inside this house in 5 minutes.
Thanks, Mommy.
She goes back inside. Peggy inserts pebbles for Skippy's eyes. Cut to Billy running through the snow, following Mogwai's footprints. Cut to Peggy inserting the final pebble for Skippy's smile. Peggy takes a step back. She looks over her creation. She smiles.
Great, Skippy.
Suddenly, Mogwai bursts out of the snowman's chest. Before Peggy can scream, Mogwai grabs her. The creature pulls Peggy inside the snowman. Peggy puts up a fight, but she isn't strong enough. Her little feet kick as she's pulled inside the snowman. Billy arrives in Peggy's backyard. He sees the little girls kicking from the snowman's torso. Billy rushes over. He grabs Peggy's legs, a tug of war. Billy pulls Peggy out of the snowman. Peggy brushes out of the snowman. Peggy brushes the snow from her face.
Are you okay?
A monster came out of Skippy the Snowman.
Billy quickly attacks the snowman with his sword. He swings and swings until Skippy is nothing but just a pile of snow, but there's no sign of the Mogwai. Billy spots footprints leading away from the snowman. Mogwai has escaped. Peggy runs after the footprint. Sorry, not Peggy. Billy runs after the footprints. Peggy watches him disappear around the corner of the house. Peggy's mother opens the door. She's puzzled by the pile of snow in front of Peggy.
Peggy, what happened to your snowman?
A little monster came out of Skippy's chest and tried to pull me inside and eat me. But this man came with a big sword and saved me.
Peggy's mother just stares at her. She shakes her head.
I think you've been playing too many of these video games.
Carolers. A group of 30 high school students stand on the front of the lawn of a home. They happily belt out a Christmas carol.
Joy to the world.
Oh, the Lord has come.
Camera pans. Their bright, cheery faces. Pete stands in the back row, wearing his orange down jacket and a long checkered scarf. He stands in the back row singing tenor. The creature pops out of the snowdrift behind the carolers. Mogwai eyes the kids. Pete stands closest to Mogwai. The creature smiles. Cut to Billy running through the backyards, following Mogwai's footprints. The carolers singing echoes in the distance. Cut to the carolers loudly singing.
And heaven and nature
Heaven
sing.
and nature sing.
The tenor voice suddenly drops out. A few of the carolers exchange puzzled glances, but they can resume their singing. Pete is being dragged from the group by his checkered scarf. Mogwai pulls the youth into a nearby wooded area. Pete kicks and shouts, but the caroler's singing drowns out his cries for help. Mogwai jumps onto Pete's chest. The creature's razor sharp razor sharp teeth bite into the boy's neck, tearing out a huge chunk. Pete screams. Cut to Billy running to the group of carolers. They are puzzled by the sword in his hand, his tattered, bloody appearance, but they continue singing. Billy follows the creature's footprints behind the carolers into the woods. Several feet away, Billy eyes Mogwai. The creature is on top of Pete's body. Billy rushes to the scene. Mogwai sees Billy. The creature gets off scared. Yeah, the creature gets scared and dashes off. Pete stops at Pete's body. He looks down. Pete is dead.
Billy covers Pete's body with his coat. Billy is angry, sickened. He quickly runs after the creature. Cut to tracking shot. Billy chasing the creature through the snow-covered woods. Mogwai runs out of the wooded area into the parking lot of the YMCA. The building is deserted, closed because of heavy snowfall. Billy comes out of the woods and sees the creature ahead. Mogwai runs to the building. Billy follows. Mogwai scales up the building side to the roof. Billy runs up, frustrated. He can't get to the roof. He watches Mogwai climb into the building through a small chimney. Billy runs to the front door. He tries to open it, locked. He notices a window a few feet above him. He hops to the window. He breaks a glass with his sword. He opens the window and climbs inside. We cut to the YMCA hallway. Billy jumps inside from the window. He looks around. It's dark in here. Billy sees a closet marked janitor. He opens it. Inside, he finds a flashlight. He turns on the flashlight. It's bright. At the end of the hallway, Billy sees a door that reads gymnasium, swimming pool. The door is slightly open. Billy walks to the door. Interior gymnasium divided into two sections. One side, a basketball court. The other, a swimming pool. It's dark. Billy enters. Two green eyes burn from the far side of the gym. Mogwai sits at the top of the stacked bleachers. Billy doesn't see the creature. He shines his flashlight across the gym floor. I know you're here. The flashlight stops on the gymnasium light box. The box is attached to a far wall beside the swimming pool. Billy walks to the box. Mogwai dashes from the bleacher top. Billy hears the creature move. He flashes his light to the bleacher tops. He sees nothing. Suddenly, something shoots at Billy's feet. He screams and shines his light to the floor. A basketball rolls to a stop at Billy's feet. Mogwai's giggle echoes through the gymnasium. Billy looks into the vast darkness. Come on out, you bastard. It is silent again. Billy is frightened. He walks faster, moving to the light box. Billy hears another sound. He shines the light to another area. Again, nothing. Billy starts to tremble. He runs to the light box. He gets there and quickly flips open the box. Billy drops the flashlight and sword. The creature's sharp fingernails clutch onto Billy's chest. Billy falls backwards, with Mogwai holding onto him. They tumble into the swimming pool, the deep end, the water. Billy separates himself from the creature. He swims to the side of the pool and gets out. He runs and picks up his sword. He looks at the scratches on his chest. They bleed, but he'll live. Suddenly, a small rumbling sound echoes from the swimming pool. Billy looks to the pool. The water is moving, bubbling, rippling. Billy is scared. He runs to the exit doorway. The rumbling gets louder. The pool's water gets more violent. Billy looks back to the pool. A creature crawls out of the swimming pool. It is followed by another creature. They are followed by 3 more, then 5 more, 8 more, 10 more. They keep coming. It's droves. Billy watches from the doorway. Oh my God. Hundreds of creatures are now coming out of the pool. The huge amount of water forces them to multiply at an incredibly fast rate. Billy runs out of the gymnasium hallway. Billy closes and locks the door. He runs to the window, boosts himself up and crawls out. Exterior YMCA, Billy runs from the building. And we
And
cut to
that is where we'll stop today on our cliffhanger. And we'll pick it
All
up
right.
next month.
Nice.
this is not the movie that they made.
This is not the movie they made at all. Yeah.
No, I mean, Billy loves Mogwai. Mogwai stays sweet. The Gremlins are what's mean. Like, oh my
Well, I
goodness.
was like, well, okay. Behind this, I'm like, how could he be so mean to Gizmo? What is he doing? Don't be mean to Gizmo. This is not the same movie at all.
No.
Well, it is a second draft, not the final.
Okay. I can see why they were like, yeah, no. I think we need to do a little bit different here.
So I don't remember.
And
I've seen
doesn't
it.
die.
What's that?
The mom doesn't die.
Okay, I was
either.
wondering about that.
Yeah. She does get tangled up. She does they try to kill her, but then she doesn't die in the movie. They do kill some, but they don't kill the dog. I don't remember that at all happening to the dog. This is a much meaner script than what was actually made.
And the funny thing is, when that did come out, Steven Spielberg was sort of the reaction was it was still too violent and too scary for a Christmas movie at the time. So you can imagine what would happen if he'd done this version.
I mean, yeah, this is still pretty. I mean, it's just, yeah. It's crazy how this is not the movie. I'm like, this is not the
Not
movie.
at all.
No. Very funny,
We'll have to
though.
see how it ends, huh? But that won't be for a couple of weeks since we'll be taking a break for the holidays.
Yeah, they don't even name Gizmo. Gizmo's not even named. It's just Mogwais. So I guess
Yeah.
it's really interesting how they have these creatures that are cute and cuddly, and then they end up.
Velociraptor in town, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're actually like villainous from the beginning, in a way. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for when we come back, and I can't wait for everything that we have next year too. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody watching us on YouTube.
Yes. I can't wait to see how this ends. I mean, we don't know. We
Yeah,
really
that's what I
don't
love.
know.
That's what I love about reading these early drafts is we really don't know. Plus, I'm sure there were things that were changed during the making as well, during like the filming and such too.
Yeah, that almost always happens.
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's funny. I don't think I like. Whereas I liked the interview with the vampire. I liked that script. The draft that we read. I like it better than the movie was made. And in this one, I like the movie that was made that we got better than this one, at least so far.
Yeah.
Funny.
yeah.
It's funny how that happens.
And this script is a little difficult to, just formatting wise. It's having
hard
the
to follow.
characters' names in bold and
Mhm.
capitalized, and on the very left side versus in the center. The original
Yeah.
script I was looking at, they had all the names in bold, the lines and the stage directions all on the left, and the stage directions were like right attached. So the character would say their line, and then the stage direction is still with no spacing whatsoever. So until you read it, you're like, oh wait, that's a stage direction. So I'm glad I found this version of it,
Yeah, it's much better.
which is.
I mean, it's so weird. It's still some weird formatting, but it's more easy. It's easier to read.
This is 1982, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure at some point along the way there was sort of standardized formatting, but I think this is before that. So
Okay, makes sense. That's interesting because I think it came out in 1985, if I was correct.
okay,
So this means that this is really early in the process, I'm guessing.
and
So.
then and I think the reason they have it in bold and caps is so because it looks like it would be where you'd put shots,
Yes.
numbers, because all of a sudden
I.
focus on the book or focus on this character.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
reading it out loud makes it hard.
yeah, it's really interesting. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful year. I can't wait to see you guys and get back. I'm gonna hop off as well now.
Okay.
So you guys have a great night.
I looked it up, 1984. You were very close.
I was very cool. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Have a great New Year. I'll be dancing in my living room alone.
Oh, it looks beautiful too. All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.